Today, I want to talk real briefly to you about this whole idea of hanging on. Hanging on. Let me tell you something. Yesterday was, as Monica would say, just one of them days. You know, it was that day where it was like, it was gloomy outside. And as much as I've said to people, don't allow the weather or what the weather is doing dictate how you feel. It was like a list or a long list of things that just seemed to be transpiring. Internet went out at work, at a job where we thrive off of technology, where there's COVID and you can't exchange a whole bunch of paperwork because of virus threat. Just all of the stuff. I knew I had a list of things to do. It just seemed like one thing just right on the heels of the other. And in that moment, what came back to my mind was this one post that I did about the spirit of the times. I actually did a podcast about the spirit of the times. And let me be clear with you that evil is always there and present, attempting to get you off of your grind, out of the grind mode, out of get it in the dirt, out of keep going, out of thriving and striving. It is always there to knock you off of that, because the minute you stop moving and doing, you are going to completely give up. Listen, if you can hang on for a second, if you can still yourself or sit quietly for a second in the midst of all the noise and the voices speaking to you, if you can sit still for a moment, you can sit still for an hour, you can sit still for a day and go to sleep and wake up after a good night of rest, and you can have a clear mind about what to do next. But giving up is not the option. It's not an option. Take it off the table. Take that off the table. Listen, if it's, you think about it, if you got a bill due and you're like, oh, they're going to cut my lights off. Let me tell you something. The same phone you can use to go and call somebody and beg for that money is the same phone you can use to go sell. Drop that bad boy off in one of those kiosks and sell that phone and get that money. Huh? It's about the priority. What's the priority? Is family the priority? Keeping the lights on for your wife and your kids? If you don't have a wife or kids, man, I understand. Maybe you don't have a lot to do it for. Maybe you want to do it for your mom, your dad. Somebody has got to hold you accountable for being great and not giving up. You're gonna look back on that 1 second when you made a split decision, like right in that second. That 1 second decision can cause you an eternity. It can cost you in that one moment when that one person walked off the field and decided, I've had it, I'm done. They've lost their livelihood. The one gentleman right now that's in the news for the Kansas City Chiefs, in a moment, the same energy that he used on the field to carry linebackers and defensive linemen, he used that same energy after he had already pushed a female on video. Already pushed her with people holding him back, pressed through them to get to her. He used the same energy, and that same energy now becomes the energy that he has been kicked off of the team and is possibly receiving a lifetime ban for the NFL. Come on, 1 second, a split second. And so what I've decided is that since life is only a vapor, how can you measure 1 second to a life that is a vapor? For the people that had lived 90 years, 100 years, their life is still but a vapor. And I've been on earth 46 years. My life is still a vapor. I feel like I've lived only a third of my life. It's a vapor. So there's no way that I'm going to give up in a second. I think I'll sit still in this second until the second becomes 30 and then becomes 1 minute and then that minute becomes 5 minutes. And then I'll look up after having a good night's worth of rest and then wake up with a clear mind. I think I'll decide that in that second that I could give up, I'll contact a friend. I'll phone a friend like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I'll ask the friend, what can you tell me? I think I'll phone up a prayer. In that second, instead of losing it and running around in a circle like I'm having a temper tantrum and banging my head against a wall and cutting my arm or hurting myself or hurting other people. I think instead of trying to play on people's sympathy, I'm going to do as the old people would say, I'm going to cowboy up, steel myself, and decide that I'm going to hang on in there for another second. Again, don't give up. Take giving up off the table. This is Kwesi Jackson of Kwesi Speaks. Here's my heart, so hear my heart. Peace.